I will be talking about another Vortex. Ever since I bought my first Vortex, I've been hooked if not only for their customer service, their warranty, or just the fact that their products are brilliant. This time it's the scope for my sniper, which will be shown at a later date, of course, but I wanted to show you the scope first. As you can see, the scope in question is a crossfire. There are many crossfire products, which actually depends on range, magnification, attributes. So it's a question of finding the right one for you. But the main thing behind the crossfire range is it's their most price, what you get for it, combination, the best combination. So they have more expensive scopes, but those are more for the more discerning customer, or very professionals that really are adamant at having a certain product. So they will not go towards this kind of range. This is more for if you want to spend something, but not that much, but you do want the best for what you can get, and that's the crossfire range. And as I said, there are many crossfire models, so it will be a bit of a search for you to find out which model is for you. The way I did it was I just went from store to store and I compared what they offered, and I asked advice. And if you want to use it for airsoft, then make sure the initial magnification is not more than 4. Anything more than 4 is completely unnecessary for airsoft. So like 3 times, 4 times, that's okay, but nothing more than 4 times, which I will explain in a moment. So as you can tell, Vortex always really likes to make the boxes a feature on themselves. At the front you have a sort of depicting image of the scope inside. Now it does say in the corner here that it is a 6 times magnification model, so it's not exactly the model inside, but product wise the looks are the same. On the sides you have the actual depiction of the product inside, so what it actually is that you get inside the box. So I will go on the other side is the same thing, so it's on both sides the same denotation. When we move the box around this side, we get all of the features Vortex likes to boast about that is on this scope, and generally speaking all of their products too. So not just this range of scopes. It's on the other side the same thing, so it's and then at the bottom there's nothing. So that's pretty much it. So I'll explain a little bit more about this. So basically what they're saying is you have a start magnification of 4 times the original image, and you can go to 16. And that's your end ocular. So that's this one. That denotes the 50. So let's say you have a scope with only one number, like 4 times 50, then that means it's a fixed magnification. If it's like this product, 4 to 16, that means it's adjustable magnification. So that is something to look out for, not only on this scope, but any other product you're buying, that if you want it to be adjustable, you have to make sure it's like this, and also that you have the right amount of adjustability that you want. And then the other important thing is deadhold BDC. So deadhold is something I will explain in a moment. It's a feature for this particular model, and BDC I will also explain in a moment, but I prefer to do it on the product itself instead of the box. So what do you get when you buy one of these? So basically it comes packaged like this. So it's definitely well protected. So here we have the scope. Here we have a sunshade, I think it's called. So otherwise the sun will hit the lens too hard and you won't see anything. So this helps with keeping the sun off your scope. So that's included. A strange sticker from the reticle. I'm not really sure what the point is of that, but it will have a point, no doubt. A very nice cloth to wipe the lenses with. So that's always a nice touch. And then of course 2 booklets, one about the crossfire model in general, and then one about the deadhold BDC function that this one has. So let's first go over the scope itself. So it's all very nicely packaged. There's a warning when you open it up that they attach, and it actually says that you don't exceed the amount of pressure you put on the tube, because otherwise you'll damage the scope. So that's just the warning, maximum this amount of pounds per inch, or otherwise you will damage your scope. That's basically what this warning tab says. So it also comes included with these caps to protect the scope when you're not using it. It seems I've taped over I put it back on for the video, but I'll take it off now. So we've got these nice protector caps for when you're not using it. So here we have I'll just put this to the side. Here we have our Vortex crossfire 4-16x50. So the first thing you notice is the one-piece body, aircraft grade, black anodized finish, and it's a very hard wearing finish. You can really notice it from the, it's hard to tell, but you can really feel it's a durable finish. So that's very impressive. So as you can see, it's one piece cast aluminum. We'll start at this side and then move to the back. So at the front you have, as you can see, this adjustment dial. So what this does is this adjusts the parallax setting. Now it's very hard to explain parallax, but sort of to explain it briefly, if you're looking through the scope, your reticle should line up with your target. If it doesn't really line up from what your eye sees, then your reticle will start to drift or give the impression to drift. And that is what this adjustment does. So as you can see, there is a yardage distance in English. That's the American denotation, yards or English denotation. Basically, it's the distance, and you have to adjust this to the distance you're viewing in at, and that will eliminate any sort of parallax effect. So that's what this one is for. Now do keep in mind, this is all very new to me, but those experienced among you will obviously understand what parallax is, and hopefully down the line I'll be better equipped to explain to you what parallax is, but now you know what this adjustment dial is for. Moving on to the center, we have these two low capped turrets. It's a bit squeaky, I know. So these are for the windage and elevation adjustment. Subsequently, windage is to adjust for wind drift, and elevation is to adjust for the curvature of the bullet. And they are hand adjustable, so they're, even though there is a little slot to adjust them, you just saw that I can adjust it with my finger easily. So that's one of the features on this one, finger adjustable turrets, and they are low capped. Usually they are a little bit higher, but they are a feature of this one is that they are low capped, so they're very low profile, which is another benefit for hunters and scope users out there. They will be better equipped to explain to you why it's so important. But at the moment, I'm not really sure why, but it will obviously make sense down the line. But the most important thing, obviously, is that it is very easily adjustable. And they come with these protective caps. Always make sure it's lined up, which it doesn't do because it's on the video. So we have these very nice caps which keep the dirt out. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Moving on to this dial. This is our magnification. So this will, as you can see, for I'll have to quick peek myself, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 6 to 16. As I said, 4 to 16. So here you have a little dot, and that one you have to line up to the number you want to get the magnification you want. And then this one is the eye relief. So that's this one. So basically you want to look through a scope and instantly get a clear image because every eye is different. So this dial allows you to get as crisp image as possible. So basically you have to look through the scope and you have to adjust this dial until the image is clear. And that's the added feature of these Vortex scopes. Obviously other scopes will have them as well, but I'm not sure of that. To adjust for clarity. So another added benefit as to why these Vortex scopes are so nice. So that's basically all there is to adjust on this Vortex scope. The other thing I will show you is the lenses themselves. I'm not sure, I'll twist it towards the light a bit. Normally you should see this reddish, purplish color, if I'm correct. Yeah, okay. That is multi-coated, fully multi-coated and anti-reflective for brighter views. So you get an amazing crisp, bright view. So you get the maximum amount of light ingress whilst maintaining a sort of clear picture. So both ends, I'll try and show you this side. Maybe if I turn, yeah, see? It's also fully multi-coated. Now, you might have heard about fogging. Probably when you played or you're out hunting or whatever, you get the damp formation on the inside. You don't have that with this one because it is fully nitrogen purged, so there is no air inside the scope. It is all nitrogen. So they purge the tube with nitrogen and then seal it off. So there's no air in it at all. And it is double Is it double? No, just O-ring sealed. So there will be no damp formation or fogging, as they call it. And also it is waterproof. Well, waterproof up to a certain extent, but the basic idea behind it is that you can use it in the rain. But obviously, I don't have to tell you, don't have to drop it in like 5 meters of water or something. It's like the debate with phones, like, oh, it was waterproof. Yeah, but waterproof as in you can use it outside in the rain and stuff like that. As I said, shockproof. Now, why is it shockproof? Because obviously this is intended for a real rifle. So people like me use them for airsoft, but its actual intended purpose is for hunting. And obviously with hunting, and you have real rifles and you have real recoil. If you use like an airsoft scope, so something that's purely designed for airsoft, and you use it on a real rifle, it will start to show problems, break, shatter, I don't know. But it will start to basically fall apart or lose its ability to function properly. So that's why all of the Vortex products are recoil proof or shock proof. So that's actually a nice added benefit for airsoft, because that means it is more than adequate and strong enough to be used in an airsoft field. Also very important, if you buy scopes, this particular diameter is something you have to keep in mind when you look for scope rings. As you could maybe not notice when I unboxed it, there are no scope rings included. Very rarely does a scope come with scope rings. So when you're looking for scope rings, preferably, or when you're looking for a scope, try and get a scope with 30 millimeter diameter. So that's this diameter, because then you'll be able to find the majority of scope rings are around 30 millimeter. Now you don't have to buy a scope depending on the diameter of the tube, obviously, but maybe for airsoft, you might be able to concede on that. Anyways, so this one is 30 millimeters, thankfully. The other scope I bought, maybe you've seen it, the crossbow had scope rings on it, which I didn't use, so thankfully I'll be able to use them for this one. But keep in mind, no scope rings. And then the most important thing before we quickly go through the booklet so I didn't forget anything is the Vortex warranty. Now, obviously, that means like, just to give you an example, someone dropped their scope, someone's scope got shot out, another one lost his scope, which was one from around 1,500 euros to 2,000 euros in a garage fire. Vortex sorted them out. Now, there are obviously exclusions, because otherwise it warrants for abuse. So the company has to cover itself, because otherwise they will just go bankrupt from people saying, oh, it's damaged, and then I can get a new one. Obviously, there are exceptions, like it doesn't count if it's stolen, or if it's scratched, you're not going to get a new one. Just common sense. So, but as far as the warranty goes, it actually does what they say the warranty is intended for. So that is an added reassurance when buying something like this crossfire, even though 350 euros. So this one was about 360 euros. That's not cheap. And especially if you're going to scopes like 500, 600 and over 1,000, you want that reassurance that if something happens, you're not down 2,000 and down another 2,000 if you bought one of the very expensive ones, or down another 350. You want that reassurance that you can go out and use it and you don't have to worry about anything. And that is, even though a product is fantastic. If I don't have that reassurance I can use it safely, I won't use it. So that is maybe the most decisive factor for Vortex, outside of that it is a fantastic product, is the fact that the warranty behind it is so good. Because otherwise I wouldn't have done it. Even if it was a fantastic product, I wouldn't risk 350 euros on an airsoft field if I wasn't sure I was protected in some way. So that is the importance of a Vortex warranty, and well worth it. Now let's quickly go through the booklet. Let's first explain deadhold BDC. So deadhold is denotative, I think the word is, or indicative of, usually when you're magnifying, your crosshairs will get magnified as well. So they will get bigger. The image will get magnified, but your crosshairs or reticle will get magnified as well, which is a good thing or a bad thing. That is usually down to hunters prefer deadhold, and other marksmen prefer that it magnifies as well. So that is sort of a personal preference, but it's also something you need to keep an eye out for. If you want the reticle to stay the same, then you want a deadhold. If you don't care about that, then just find one without the deadhold on it. So that basically means, so deadhold, like think about it like a death grip. So basically, as much as you magnify the image, the reticle will stay the same as on 4 times or 16 times. It doesn't matter. The size of the reticle will stay the same. And most hunters, because it is marketed as a hunting scope, will prefer it that way. So that is basically what deadhold BDC means. Now it's a whole explanation about normal scopes, I mean non-deadhold scopes, they're all in the same plane, and this is in different planes, but that's a bit technical. So just the simple explanation is the crosshairs don't get bigger as you magnify. So that's basically it. And what BDC means is bullet drop compensation. So if you're using a real rifle, you can compensate for the bullet drop, because there is these markings on the reticle that will help you determine your bullet drop. So that is not really interesting for airsoft, but again, this is marketed as a real scope, so then it is important. And here you have all the classifications, so you have to look up your particular firearm, and then you can do formulas. So I'll move to the next page, and then you can do wind drift compensation, ranging, as I said, with turrets. So wind drift compensation, so the drifting off like that, and then the ranging compensation like that. And then you can then they give examples of ranging on a coyote or a deer. So, and then another why Vortex warranty. But then you know a bit what deadhold means and what BDC means. But I'm not going to go into all the formulas and stuff because I don't know what it is either. So the crossfire manual is very detailed. So you get a nice explanation of the scope and all the features on it. So as I said, elevation turret, that's this one. And then windage turret is this one for the compensation this way, and the other one is for the compensation that way. This is known as an ocular lens. So the one you look through is the ocular lens, ocular eye. And this is the objective lens, because this is what you aim for. This is what you see the objective in, I suppose. That's how I remember it. yeah, reticle focal plane. So that's basically what I said with the different focal planes, but not going to go into that. But they really explain to you what that means. How to make adjustments. So there's a very detailed explanation on what this adjustment means and what it does, but I briefly explained it. So it's a one-time adjustment. The other ones are like on-the-fly adjustment. This one you only have to adjust once for your eye. Once that is adjusted, it's done. That's all you need to know. The magnification adjustment. Very nice. The parallax setting. So I'll try and explain it anyways. So parallax is a phenomenon that results when the target image, so that's the thing you're trying to shoot at, does not fall on the same optical plane as the reticle within the scope. So basically, if this is the thing you're aiming at and this is your reticle, then it's like this. This can cause an apparent movement of the reticle. So it starts to drift, yeah, over there. If the shooter's eye is off center, so that means if it's off center from the ocular lens. Oh, my booklet closed. So when the target image is not focused on the reticle plane and your eye is off center, parallax occurs. This is because the line of sight from the eye to the focused target image does not coincide with the reticle aiming point. So this is a reticle aiming point, and this is what they're saying. So your eye is here and it doesn't, so you're not gonna hit anything. That's the main point. And you want it like this. That's how you want it. So that's basically what you tinker with this one. So you want to get that parallax effect gone. But that's the most I'm going to say about it, because otherwise everyone will get bored if no one's bored already. But again, as you can see, they even continue on this paper about the parallax and how you want to set it and what you want to happen. So as far as manuals go, it's very detailed. Image focus. Lower power models do not use image focus, parallax adjustments. So there's lower models won't have this adjustment. That's what they're trying to say. So basically how to focus. So they're going into pretty nice detail. Illumination adjustment. So as you can tell, this one doesn't have that. So that's an additional adjustment knob on this side. And that is to illuminate your reticle. So this is not the highest model. So, but the higher models have illuminated reticles. But I'm not going to go that far that I'm going to airsoft in the dawn or dusk. So that's not really... and then how to mount your scope. So which rings to use, how to use it, how to set it, how to align everything. So even that they explain, how to put it on, how to bore sight. So that basically means how to line this with your barrel. Final, so you have to range it in first and you have to range it finally. So that's all details, yada yada yada. Indexing the turrets, God knows what that is. But something with a zero indicator after sighting without disturbing your settings. So apparently that's a feature that you can re-index your zero indicator after sighting the scope in without disturbing all the work you did. So they explain that in detail as well. Did they include? No. They didn't include an Allen key, that's cheap. And maintenance. So they also tell you how to maintain. There's very little maintenance on it. except cleaning the lenses, obviously. But again, these are coated lenses, so don't use just any product, because otherwise you'll damage the coating. So do keep that in mind. So just check them out. They'll explain to you which products to use. There's no additional lubrication needed. Storage, obviously don't place it in direct sunlight with all the O-ring seals and the lubrication inside, because if you place this in direct sunlight, you obviously will know what will happen with the lubrication inside. Troubleshooting, so they'll even give you a few short tips on if you have trouble, but this depends on what you're going to use it for. Airsoft, then most of this is obsolete. Not Airsoft, very interesting nonetheless to read about. And then another note about saying how wonderful their VIP warranty is. So that's pretty much all there is to say about the scope, but obviously you can just from looking at it see what a wonderful product it is, and it weighs barely anything. I'm not sure if they indicated it in the book, but if I remember correctly, it's around 400 grams. I'll put the correct weight on the description below, but it is, there's not really a way to show it, but it is honestly, it is mind-blowingly light for the size. So I'll just put everything that's in the box in front of the camera again. No, that's not really important. And then our little two booklets. So for me, it is worth every penny they're asking. There are obviously, as I told you, other models, but that is something you'll have to decide for yourself which model you want. Obviously, this is not a rant about how amazing Vortex is. This is just my experience with their products. Obviously, for everyone, there's a budget or how much they want to spend on a scope. So that's something for you to decide. And depending on what your budget is, there are other options. So I'm not saying Vortex is the only thing that exists and you should only buy Vortex. That's not what I'm saying. This is purely about this product, or all the products I'm describing are purely about the product itself, and not to say that this is the thing you should buy and that there is nothing else. So just to quickly put that out there, if this is too much for you, there are plenty of other affordable options that are plenty as good. So just something to think about. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please do like and subscribe if you want. If not, then comment just why you liked it or why you didn't like it. I really need feedback, so don't feel annoyed or like I don't want to say anything negative. I don't do that kind of stuff. If you say politely, like I didn't like that or I didn't like that, that's all fine by me. Or if you have questions, or if there's something you want to talk about any of the products you've seen, feel free to contact me and I'll try and contact you back as soon as possible. So take care, have a nice day or evening, depending on where you're watching from, and that's what I just said. Have a nice day and evening. Goodbye.